Jeremy Sockman here with another look at a movie you've never heard of. Where do I keep finding them? Sometimes you have to look between the lines to find a movie like Between the Lines from 1977. Is this one worth digging for? Let's take a look. The Back Bay Main Line is Boston's most prestigious 25-cent newspaper sold on street corners by bums. It's also staffed by an oddball collection of, well, oddballs. We've got Harry, former star reporter now reduced to writing articles about strippers and pining over his photographer girlfriend Abby. Then you've got wannabe author Michael working on his great American novel while Laura works at the paper. Don't forget David, aspiring reporter, Lynn, secretary extraordinaire, and Max, hotshot music critic played by old Big Eyes himself, Jeffrey Goldblum. They all like to party, sleep around, and do a little digging for stories. But uh-oh, a big-time money man Roy Walsh wants to take over the paper.
Well, are we all going to be kept on? Simple question.
Well, I'm afraid it's not as simple as that. I don't know at the present moment.
After lots of partying, sleeping around, digging for stories, and taking some beatings for digging for said stories, spoiler alert, Roy buys the paper. He fires Harry, Michael leaves to New York, Lynn quits, and Max makes a new friend.
What is your name? I'm sorry.
Doug.
Doug what?
Henkel.
Do you read the main line?
Yeah, I read it.
You do?
Yeah, I read the main line, but I was just going to
Do you read the rock column on the main line?
Yeah, but Oh. Yeah.
Max Arloff.
Doug Henkel.
Yikes, there's a lot of people to keep track of in this one that you've never heard of. Good thing there's not a lot of hidden meanings to worry about as well. You see, Between the Lines comes from an era of idealism and generational energy, but where it doesn't come from is a place that thinks either of those things mean a lick. It doesn't matter how great Lynn is at her job, how hard editor Frank fights to keep the paper independent, how great a rock critic Max is, how hard-hitting a reporter Harry is, or how talented anyone is at the paper, because in the end, it's all going to end up corporate-owned, sanitized, and eventually made into just another fluff rag that changes nothing.
That's simple business, and that's a fact that we've all got to live with.
Okay, well, let me read that back to you then, okay? In both face caps, hair there and everywhere. Next line. Single male, 25, looking for girl with excessive amounts of body hair.
Harry and Laura reminisce about the old days, fighting for issues that mattered. Harry and Abby discuss stories they printed that made a difference in small ways, but cynical Harry, obviously the voice of the director Joan Micklin Silver, knows that it's all pointless in the grand scheme of it all.
We really shook things up, you know? We didn't change anything.
Big money runs things and will swallow up any and all little guys before they're through. And by having everyone in this movie essentially fail by preserving their independent voice, the movie's telling us that anything we do is bound to fail too.
You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
So in the end, by being a realist, a slightly cynical voice of reason, Between the Lines was hoping to save us all a lot of heartbreak when we see our dreams of a brighter future fail in the face of corporate assimilation. I'm Jeremy Sockman, and I'm always okay with having my idealism spared, so I'm giving Between the Lines my seal of approval.
And the whole thing makes me sick.
Well, will somebody please tell me who he is?
He's a rich asshole who goes around buying up papers like ours.
If Roy Walsh buys this paper, I'm walking.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too. Everybody the unemployment line.
I tried so hard.